stopping us now, folks, no matter even if it appears that we've been stopped. If it appears that the show is over, all you've done is let somebody turn the light out. It's still going on. The world ends for everybody someday. Today ended for somebody. But it began for someone. I say all of that to say because I am lamenting the loss of a good friend, Mr. Reggie Beeman. Reggie was a good guy. Father, son, brother, an activist, a man that cared. We lose him, but we have memories, we have inspirations, and we have responsibilities with those memories. We have responsibilities with the knowledge that everybody's passing through. We all are passing through. No one is permanent on earth. However, there's some things you can do to make an echo that will create an aura of love, satisfaction, happiness that we knew you. And Reggie, I'm happy to have known you, my brother. And I'm sure that there are many others out there who feel the same way. As we come through life, how we're remembered is important. But what we do, I don't know. I was just speaking with Pastor E.C. We have inclinations, it seemed like to me as we see and say things, but we don't really know. We have faith, but we don't really know. But with that faith, it gives us a reason to move forward every day with some goals, with some intentions, with some desire to do good, and we can do that. There's something bad going on. There's something evil happening. There's some shenanigan going on that isn't what you thought it was going to be, and it could disappoint you to the extent that you may want to do something crazy to someone else or to yourself. It's not that kind of ride, guys. It's not that kind of ride. You are in charge of your attitude. Think about it. I mean, you can't really make anyone do anything. If you don't believe that, have a baby and try to tell that child what to do. She's part of you, he's part of you, but they do what they want to do. And that's what the world does. It does what it wants to do. And that's why it's so great to see the good things that are going on when we see that people can come together, can create, can make a quality of life that we all admire, like, and want to be part of. Oh, there's going to be devastations, but coming back together, devastation is something that gives us an opportunity to show our group strength, our personal strengths, our group strengths. And we're faced, folks, with the opportunity to show group strength every day. We have the opportunity. There's always someone out there who's giving you a chance to show some compassion. There's always someone out there that's challenging you to show some strength. There's always someone out there that will ignore you, and there's someone out there that's paying great attention. Now, which of those you decide to perform for is up to you. We get daylight, we get nighttime. You got left, you got right. You got up, you got down. Something about these opposites that exist in each other's presence that says, maybe everything is not supposed to be the same. Maybe we're supposed to have some challenges. How do you find your strength if you don't find something to resist you? So, with all of that to say, all of that having been said, we're going to do as we usually do. We're going to point out the fact that there's heroes and sheroes right in the midst of us. You may be one of those. And you don't need to necessarily complete your cycle of life for us to acknowledge and recognize your greatness, for us to recognize that we need you, for us to recognize that you're doing things for the benefit of someone other than yourself. Like the poet says, it's time for us Time for us to be on time for a change, is imminent. Yes, it's time to love your brother for something other than what he can do for you. It's time to love your brother for something other than what he can do for you. Yes, it's time to make our master wish come true. It's time for us to stand up straight. Give a hand, or whatever it may take to free our fellow man. It's much too late to cry. We've all seen too many loved ones die. So come on, get on up and let's get down. Let's change the expression on the face of this clown, this fiendish mutation they're making of our nation. No, it doesn't have to be that way. All we have to do is stand up and say, I will not submit to the cool aid. I will not submit to the cruel aid. Ooh, baby, we've been here too long. We've been here too long being with each other to let little goofy issues separate us. Nighttime and daytime, there's dusk and there's morning glow. There's that transition, and that's what we want. Okay, things can get a little tough, but I wanted to show you what we do when things are tough. We work together, we make things happen. I want to introduce you later to Mr. Arlington Rogers. He's an activist. He works for the city of San Bernardino, but he works. He's not trying to get a free check. He's trying to do some things for you. And I have Miss Condi Greer. She is a volunteer and activist. She's done her time working. Now she volunteers. She gives support to things that others are doing. We're going to talk a little bit about the Civil Rights Institute that's breaking ground in the city of Riverside next Saturday. There's a lot of good things going on, and you're part of that. We'll be back right after this short break. We'll speak with Mr. Arlington Rogers, who is on the San Bernardino Library Foundation, trying to help raise money for something that isn't going to ride him around in a shiny new car or put him in a new room at his house. He's working for us, folks. We'll be back with Arlington right after this short break.
106.5 FM and KCAA 1050 AM.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Hey, kiddo, ready to catch that movie?
Almost. Wallet, phone, keys, mask. Yep, all set.
A mask? It's not required, is it?
No, but it's gonna be busy and crowded, so I'll feel better with it on.
You right. It is opening night. Let me grab mine.
Nice! You passed the vibe check, Dad!
Wearing a mask when it can help protect you and others is just one way to keep each other safer. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This is KCAA.
Oh, baby. Well, we are back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. I'm here on the case for truth and justice with the right information to help improve the situation. And I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to open up our phone line, and I believe we have Mr. Arlington Rogers on the line. Arlington, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing very well, Wallace. Thank you.
No, doing very well. That's a personal thing. Doing good, that's a social thing. And you're doing good, my brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're involved in some things that, as I said to my audience, that don't have anything to do with getting you a new car, a new
No, sir.
house, brand new suit, or any of those things. Probably get some folks mad at you because you're working so hard trying to put money into a circumstance and situation that we all benefit from, but many of us have no obligation or sense of obligation to support. And I'm talking about a library, San Bernardino City Libraries. Tell us about the San Bernardino, what is it, City Library Foundation? That's who we're here to glorify a little bit and justify and raise some money for, right?
Absolutely. Wallace, first and foremost, thank you for allowing me this opportunity to talk to your audience in this space. The San Bernardino City Library Foundation has been around since approximately 1995. And what it is a support organization for the San Bernardino City Library system. And so we help them produce programs that otherwise they could not afford in their yearly budget, in their fiscal year. As you know, having been around city government and things like that, one of the first things that's always cut in any city budget, no matter where you go, is the library.
Which is
because
stupid.
of the fact that people don't see it and they don't use it and they don't miss it when the systems are cut. So what we do, our mission is to help strengthen community, to keep communities strong through literacy. So we provide programs like American Doll program, 3D imaging. I'm in the process of creating a coding program to be facilitated in our library system in all of our 4 libraries.
Well,
those are some of the things
that unique titling that you just described, like, for instance, your Dolls program?
American Dolls is it's a doll program, and what it is the patrons can come in. We do it once a year. They can come in and borrow an American Doll, and at the end of the year, there is a tea where they all come in and they bring their dolls, and it's a huge event that we've really just started enhancing. We just did one in August of this year, American Doll Tea, that is headquartered, I believe, in New York, and it's really a big thing. And for your audience, they should come in and take a look at it. And they need further inquiries, they can contact the library system.
Okay, did I hear you say patients or clients that come in?
I'm sorry, patrons.
Patrons.
Yeah,
okay.
PAT.
So there's something about reading to a doll or being involved with the doll. I'm not sure what all that is, but I do agree that you've got to approach these things from a lot of different angles if you want to get people to. What's the competition for a library now? It seems like everybody thinks, I don't know. I have a cup that my wife gave me. It says, I don't need Google because my wife knows everything. I can suppose that people say, well, I don't need the library because Google tells me everything. That's pretty much a competition. How are we dealing with that?
Well, and I think that's where we come in as a foundation, and raising money to benefit that. Now, granted, the social media now is the competition for the libraries because people just say, I'll read it online. You have audio books now that people go in. Now, I'm from the old school. It's just something to me that's magical about turning pages. And I like to read. Now, other people may have audio, so we have audio book system. You can read online. You can check out books online and pick them up. So we're trying to compete with what today is doing. The one thing that we're trying to help expand in our library system is one of the programs that I just mentioned, which is coding, and try to bring the foot traffic back into the library system and let them see some of the things that we're doing.
And actually, coding is, that's a vocation. That's an avocation. That's you're teaching people how to actually work. That's a little. Doesn't seem like a normal library function. Are we extending that education potential into the library beyond saying read and are we offering other kind of classes and stuff there?
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, please.
Oh, and you're right. It's not a normal library function, and that's where we come in as a foundation. We are not the library, and we're not necessarily part of the library system. We got started with private donations of people leaving money from their estate to benefit, to be as the foundation, as a benefactor. And what we've done is we've invested those funds into, now we have about $2 million plus in funds that we use from those original donations back in 1995.
So from that fund, you're able to, I guess, make a little money with the fund, but at the same time, that limits your access to what you spend from the fund on an annual basis, right?
That is correct, sir.
So what do we do to help you guys get more money? What are some of the things we're doing to raise money for the library?
Well, one of the things I'm attempting to do is to find more people like yourself that are willing to hear what the foundation is about. We've operated, before my presidency, before my administration, we've kind of operated just in the circles of those who know about it, teachers in the San Bernardino City Unified School District, and some of the original donors would still come into the board. And what I've attempted to do is to expand the bandwidth of the foundation to include more conversations as to who we are. We're looking forward to creating more fundraising opportunities, and we're in discussions to do that as we speak.
I note that one of the things you're doing to increase the titles that you have access to, because the libraries do make, as you stated, books available online. You have a unique system of letting people access the book, and from what I see, you've got it set up so there's no late fees now. So we say we're going to leave the book with you for 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks, the document disappears on your. I don't expect that libraries ever made a lot of money on fines and things of that sort. I remember it as whenever I was able to not get a book back on time, I'd go in and whine and cry, and they'd always forgive the fines.
Right. Yeah, I've been there myself. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So how? And once again, with this competition with online, how are we competing with online books, audio books? Your books are free. I suppose that helps a lot.
Some of the things that we're discussing, again, the foundation, again, is a partner to the library system. And so what we want to do is raise more funds to create other programs associated with literacy, and that would bring people to the libraries. We do free tutoring at all of our libraries.
Really?
That the foundation helps support. So we're separate from the city budget that provides funds for the everyday operations of the city library system. We're a separate entity that will pick up programs that we can fund ourselves and still not affect the city's budget, because that's how we got started. Is city library systems are being cut, and we know as a quality of life component, libraries are fundamental in that quality of life, and literacy is highly important. When you have a high literacy rate in your community tends to thrive.
Yeah, well, I don't like hanging around dummies, and I try not to be one so that others don't have to hang around a dummy. But that also kind of implies that since we have a foundation picking up some charges, maybe we at the city can even reduce the budget more. We'll talk about that right after this break and see if there's other levels of support that we as an audience can provide to you at the foundation. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. I'm speaking to Arlington Rogers, the president of the San Bernardino City Library Foundation. And we're going to take this short break so you guys can go check your wallet, your bank account, because when we come back, I'm going to ask you for some money. Well, I won't be that bold, but, well, yes, I will. We'll be right back.
This is KCAA.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call Westside Story Newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
COVID-19 vaccines help keep our families safer from the risks of COVID-19. Now, children 6 months and older are eligible to receive that same reassuring protection. As a parent, you might have questions or want to find out more about COVID-19 vaccines for kids. And that's okay. Talk with your doctor today or visit vaccinateall58.com to learn more so you can feel good about the facts. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
106.5 FM and KCAA 1050 AM.
All right, this is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen, here on the case for truth and justice. Inspire you, let you know the power that you have. You're living in a civilized world thanks to people like Mr. Arlington Rogers who, stand up, take a little time away from their family, take a little time away from their church, take a little time away from their leisure, and put that time into serving the rest of us. Arlington, you've got a family. You've got matter of fact, your wife is a very busy person. I've got a great kid. Is it a sacrifice or an investment when you work outside of your family to promote the city and do things?
Well, it's both. But it's a sacrifice out of love. My family, we're big readers, always have been. As you know, kids have gone to college and graduated, so we're very adamant about literacy and reading. And you asked previously about how people can get involved. They can become a member for $25 a year. So that's a little more than $2 a month. So $25 a year, and they can call our main number at 909-381-8211 to find out how they can send their checks in to become a member of the San Bernardino City Library Foundation. That is not much of a sacrifice to create literacy within the city you live.
That's not a. I had a phone call this morning at 8 o'clock. Okay, I'll answer it. And it's Sunday morning, and maybe it's somebody involved in today's show. And it was someone tried to sell me. I don't even know what they were trying to sell me, but I'm not real polite to other salespeople because I'm scared of them. So, do you guys always wait for people to decide it's important to support you, or do we ever get together on a Saturday and make phone calls and bug people and tell them how that $25 is so important
That's a great question, Wallace. I think what the group, the board of directors that we have now is phenomenal. And we have decided that may have been the case previously, just due to what you said. Everybody has lives, and sometimes those lives don't allow you enough time to get out and put forth greater efforts. And that's not the fault of anybody. It's just life happens.
Right.
But the great group of board of directors that we currently have sitting on the board is adamant about getting out and having people recognize who we are and soliciting funds now. So that's one of the reasons I was grateful that you allowed this platform for us to discuss it, and we're going to provide more opportunities to get our name out there at different events and different organizations, so that people can see us. Again, we've hidden in the shadows for a little bit, but now we're ready to get out there and build this so we can really, really bring literacy into the forefront to have the quality of life that residents deserve.
One of the other ways that I see that we could bring some money and let more people know about what's going on in the libraries is that I know at Feldheim Library, the main library downtown San Bernardino, you have an auditorium and some meeting rooms. And I know from experience that those rooms are available to rent. I don't know if that's the right term because the amount of money involved is so little. I don't know if you'd call it a rent or a donation, but can you talk to us about that?
I can touch on it a little bit, but the best person to talk to about that would be the director of the library system, who is
Okay.
Ed Varget. I can't say his name, but Ed. So
You said his
because he is
name.
director of the library system, and that is a city facility. We're fortunate where the city allows us to have an office space within the Feldham Library. But as far as the facilities rental and stuff, that has to go through the city process.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's once again, it's a 200-seat auditorium. They've got meeting rooms there that hold, I think it says, up to 50 people. And once again, from my experience, those rooms are available, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. And if you're trying to have a socially redeeming meeting, that I'm sure they won't let you go and sit down and plan a assault on City Hall if they know it. But it's a great situation, and I think we should. One of the things I'm going to do is ask you to ask me for some money. Maybe when you start asking me, you'll figure out to ask some other people. But Arlington, you have
I've
my
learned over the
email.
years, Wallace. I've learned over the years that I have to get away from my shyness. So, Wallace, I'd like for you to be the first person of this audience to commit to the $25 per year membership.
Done.
And perhaps your organization of the West Side Story would also like to be as we haven't created sponsorships, but I'd like to have you commit to at least having entrance in becoming a sponsor of the San Bernardino City Library Foundation.
Oh, I'm all pressed up against the wall here. You're squeezing me. Oh, this is okay. I submit. We'll do it. Oh, don't choke me. Okay. Without a doubt.
Well, Wallace,
I'm
as a
honored. I'm
newspaper man,
honored.
as a newspaper man, you know how important it is to read. I mean, you just know. And you know that reading is fundamental and information gets through. And one of the things that we're finding out is that when we increase literacy and we increase the methodology of our children and our adults of getting truthful information, we do become a better society as a whole.
Man, does it have to be truthful?
Well,
Golly.
if you want to grow intellectually, you got to have some truth.
I'm telling you. And you have to understand that the truth has so many different angles on it that one really has to understand that just because you see it doesn't mean that that's the only angle to watch it from. And as
Correct.
a news person, I know that every story has 10 sides. And that's because I'm limited. There's probably even more than that. So we want to touch things from as many angles as possible. We want to share those angles with each other. That sharing is what allows us to really know more, see more. And if the person you're sharing with is not sharp enough to see it accurately and describe it accurately, then we are left to deal with dust and visions that are made through the dust and the fog, as opposed to what can really happen when we get down, get honest with each other, get honest with ourselves, and share. And share it all the way as perfectly as we can. Arlington, I know that none of us are perfect. I know that your effort is immense. You probably rest a little more than I think you should, but that's okay. And because I can guarantee you, I'm resting more than other people think I should. But that's the way it's going to be. So we have to depend
Right.
on each other, depend on ourselves.
Yes.
And I do commit to, gosh, yeah,
25 a year.
man, 25 a year. That way, the little extra money I give you makes it look like a real gift. Yeah, I'll commit to
Absolutely.
the 25 a year, and I'm going to commit to getting you 10 more people to do the same thing.
Fantastic, Wallace. We certainly appreciate that.
Very good. Arlington Rogers, come back. Let us know what we can do in the future. We're going to take this break. We're going to get out of here, and we're going to thank you. How can we, once again, get in touch with you? How do
909
people... Okay.
909 909-381-8211.
Say it again.
And 909-381-8211. And I will also leave my personal cell phone number for anyone that wants to reach me, 951-373-9571.
And anybody that uses that number should automatically give them $25 when you call.
I like the way you think, Wallace.
There we go. There we go. Arlington, I appreciate you very much. Have a great day.
You too, sir.
And as much as I'd like to tell Gwen I can only vote once, but I'd like to vote twice. But I'll give it a one. You got it. All right, my friend. Thank you very much. This is Empire Talks Back. We're going to be back right after this short break, and we will pick up a conversation with Miss Condi Greer. All right.
106.5 FM and KCAA 1050 AM.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
Californians have worked really hard to beat COVID-19 by doing the things we know work best, like getting vaccinated and boosted, testing before and after travel, staying home when feeling sick, and wearing a mask when it can protect us and others. Let's continue to do our part to keep each other safer from COVID-19. When we work together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Learn more at covid19.ca.gov. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
This is KCAA.
All right, we are back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen on the case for truth and justice, and there's nothing just about COVID-19 except that it's not gone. It may appear to be. So get your booster shots, and don't forget to take that flu shot. Now, I've heard a few people say they've had some issues and problems with that, but I'd like to also say that Mrs. Allen took the flu shot and her vaccine booster on the same day. I think she used different arms, but she had no problem with it. Now, I know that there's others who, we've got different systems, and so be careful. But part of being careful means, get that booster shot, get that flu shot. It's good for you. It's good for the people that live around you as well. And the next thing I'd like to remind you of is that we've got Novatech. Novatech is that little company that I'm putting a little money in every week. I started putting money in March, and over that since March I've put in about $2,000, and my balance at this point is over $3,000. That means they have given me 30%, 33% return on my investment. I can't explain all of that, but I can tell you that this coming Saturday from 11 o'clock for an hour or two, I have two master investors, explainers, wealth builders who will be able to talk to us about Novatech, talk to you about it, talk to me more about it. And some of you may want to enroll after you hear what they're doing. And from what I see, you could put in as little as $100 to observe how your money grows. So this coming Saturday, 164 Hospitality, Suite 106, known as the Heat Center. These gentlemen will be there to talk to you about Novatech. We're going to have some refreshments, light refreshments, heavy investment conversation. So that's part of what you can do on the 22nd, this coming Saturday. But there's something else you can do on the 22nd that I think is very critical, very important, and you'll make your forehead grow a little bit if you attend this second event. This is the Civil Rights Institute, Southern California, or Southern. Well, let me get Condi to tell us correctly how we name this thing. Condi Greer, how are you today?
Good morning, Sir Wallace Allen. How are you this fabulous Sunday morning?
Good. And thank you for letting me. Well, I didn't wake you up, but I called you pretty early. I called you right after that lady called me about some insurance at 8 o'clock.
I've been up since 6 a.m. Got to get the day started if you want to be productive.
Well, the day's going to start, whether you do or not. So the fact that you joined it is, that's the difference. That's the choice. That's what makes some people ahead of other people. That's what causes the line. Everybody doesn't get up at the same time, and we don't point in the same direction. The direction you're pointing is toward our community.
Indeed.
I know many other people on the committee, but I have to say that you're the one that kept calling me, reminding me that this event is coming up, and I've finally paid attention and said, whoa, it's the 22nd. That's this Saturday coming up.
Absolutely.
The Civil Rights Institute. That's a product of some long-term work that people have done to create that. What's going to happen this coming Saturday?
Indeed, and thank you so much, Wallace. Pardon me. This coming Saturday, October the 22nd, 2022, will be the Civil Rights Institute of Inland Southern California. It's a permanent center for the celebration and defense of civil rights. And that would be the Institute's opening ceremony. Again, that's on Saturday, October the 22nd, 2022. The doors open at 5 p.m. The program begins at 5:30 p.m. And on that program, there's free outdoor festivities, live music, food trucks, and more. The keynote address and book signing by Olympic gold medalist and civil rights activist Dr. Tommy Smith is going to be there. There's an unveiling of the Walk of Fame and dedication of the Jose Medina Atrium. There's also an inaugural exhibition of Still I Rise, the Black IE Fight for Justice. This is very important for all people, not just people of color, not just black people, for all people, because civil rights are important for all people. So again, that's going to be held on Saturday, October the 22nd, 2022. Doors open at 5 p.m. That address is 3933 Mission N Avenue in Riverside. And I just also wanted to say that all the tickets are free. They're absolutely free. And you can get up to 10 free tickets by going to Eventbrite and putting in the term Civil Rights Institute opening ceremony. And it's very important that we all participate in this. It's the Mission Heritage Plaza is the home of the Civil Rights Institute of the Inland Southern California and Fair Housing Council of Riverside, California. It's going to be honoring Inland Empire civil rights history makers and unsung heroes, celebrating new affordable housing for 72 families, which is very important in California because we're really being priced out of the housing market here. There's an opening exhibit of Still I Rise, the Black IE Fight for Justice. Dedication, like I said, of the Jose Medina Atrium. And live entertainment, Wallace.
Well, it sounds like a heck of a deal. Rose Mays is a Riverside Inland Empire heroine. I know she had very much to do with the creation of the Institute. And there's many other people who've been involved in getting that done for us. I have a minor or major in Black Studies from San Jose State, which is where Dr. Tommy Smith attended and set world records in track and field. And there's a statue in his honor there because of his commitment to civil rights and human rights as demonstrated in the 1968 Olympics.
Indeed. As a matter of fact, there's a book that is written called Victory Stand that you'd be able to purchase as well.
Oh, so you'll be able to purchase the book from Tommy, get it signed, I'm sure.
Indeed.
Yeah. So we were talking about, well, you were stating that it's a civil rights institute, and because of the civil rights movement that black people were the, I guess, lead figures in the 60s, many people think of civil rights as something that, if you bring it up, it's only for black folk. Well, that's the way they talked about black studies. Oh, it's for black folk. No, it's for everybody. The issue of ignorance is intellect. The substitute for ignorance is intellect and information. Black studies was information about black culture and black involvement in the creation and maintenance of America, which that information is not always there in the books. And civil rights, the need for civil rights is not always there in the books. And quite frankly, we're at a point where there are people who think that quietness, a lack of information, is a benefit. And it is a benefit to those who want to have illegal power. But information is freedom. Information is the thing that allows us all to shed our ignorant wings and fly with the truthful wings. I know, Condi, you've had a career in paralegal and legal understanding. What is your personal view of how you see America moving in terms of being willing to make things legal that we have grown accustomed to being illegal, and things that are illegal being changed into legal? Give you a chance to think about that. We're talking about guns, we're talking about abortion, we're talking about people's rights, we're talking about procedure for counting ballots. So much going on. It's a lot there. And while I've got you on the line, I think I'd like to get some information. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I just want to hear you talk about some of the things that are going on now and how you feel with your legal expertise. Be right back.
106.5 FM and KCAA 1050 AM.
Publish your legal notice in West Side Story newspaper. For the best service and the best rates, call 909-384-8131. Publishing legal notices in the city and county of San Bernardino since 1990. West Side Story provides friendly expert service. Call 909-384-8131 to benefit from budget-friendly rates. Whether a fictitious business name, a name change, a divorce summons, or any other legal or public notice, call West Side Story newspaper 909-384-8131. 909-384-8131. That's 909-384-8131.
This is KCAA.
Yeah, we're back. This is Empire Talks Back. I'm Wallace Allen. I just put my friend Connie Greer on the spot, asking her for her opinion on some legal issues. Well, why would I do that? Well, because her father's one of the most brilliant legal minds I've ever talked to, and so is she. So I don't expect her to solve the problem.
Thank you so kindly for that, Wallace.
No, it's not. I mean, it's like Sam Rhodes. Your shoes are black. It's a fact. You can see it. You know it. It's true. Dr. Denton is a brilliant man. So I'd imagine you guys have, crossed swords on some of these legal things that are going on in the nation. We've got the issue of police constantly getting away with shooting young black men, but stop. Some of that seems to be changing. We're in the midst of a pretty, I think, important legal change. Abortion. what the Supreme Court is doing. Guns, what the Supreme Court and what courts are not doing. How do you feel about the legal system in general? Do you think that we are okay? Do you think that we've got a crisis ahead of us, or is this just the way things roll?
And thank you for the question. I'll tell you honestly, the legal industry and law, Lady Justice, which is also ironically the name of my company,
right,
is supposed to be blind. But unfortunately, for many years, especially for people of color, Lady Justice is peeking just underneath one eye to make sure that she's only giving justice to certain groups of people, which I think is abhorrent. So that's why in today's society, 2022, it is so important that we actually get out and vote. We know that getting out and voting for things that we need and things that we believe in and the way to change the way that laws or adhere to and how justice is served is important by who we put in there that sees the same thing that we see, the injustice of it all. As far as abortion, we've gone back 50 years. Is this the same idea that we want to go back to the 50s to, quote unquote, make America great again? It wasn't great then. It's not so fabulous now. We need to make the necessary changes. People have a right to make decisions regarding their medical health, regardless of whether or not that's having chemotherapy for cancer or if for some reason they would like to terminate a pregnancy. These are medical decisions that need to be made by the person and by the people who it is most important to. And that's why it's so important also for us to make sure that we attend the Civil Rights Institute opening, because civil rights is not just for black people. It is for all people, including the quote-unquote majority, which I don't know how that is. But anyway, the majority, because civil rights is just that, just an absolute right to be treated humanly. That's all, to be treated humanly.
We have an obvious move toward, well, I don't say if it's a move toward, because it's existed. America was built upon the concept of white supremacy. Black people, white people, Asian people, I mean, during the European colonization of the planet, the marketing plan that they put forth left no doubt that the world was supposed to uphold white people as the supreme beings on the planet. And it happened successfully for years. Coming out of that is troublesome for white people who want to cling to that power. But I think there's so many of us here now that are not white, not black. It's boiled down to you're either white or you're non-white. And the non-white people are the ones who seem to catch hell, except for those non-white people who assume that they are accepted as white. For instance, like my friend Herschel Walker, and I say that because, man, when he was playing football, I thought that he was good. He was definitely good. And he's probably good in a lot of other places. But I'm not seeing him as a senator. I just don't see it. And, to look at how do white people who are thinkers, white people who want to live peacefully and progressively and have high quality of life would see this young man as somebody to lead us. Hold it. There's some black people that feel the same way. Now, how do I get along with people that I don't get along with in terms of attitude or in terms of the decisions?
Well, with all due respect to Mr.
Please.
Herschel Walker, he absolutely should stick to football. He has no idea what is plaguing, quote unquote, our community at all, and he's completely misstepped about what is needed in Georgia, in my opinion, and what is needed at a Senate level at that. I don't believe that he is a great representative for any group of people, to be honest with you. I think he's a great pawn for some groups of people, but he certainly is not the ideal person to represent a group of people that have always been marginalized since we got here.
1952.
Without our consent at all. I mean, these are kings and queens, people of royalty that were actually brought here to build this country. And it is absolutely the time right now for the people that built this country to start reaping what we sowed. And Mr. Herschel Walker is not the person that should be representing anyone doing anything. He did pretty good in football, okay, but that's about it.
But, here we are. Here we are, and we've all, everybody believes that they're right. How do we reconcile the fact that we're always going to be dealing with the possibility that somebody disagrees with us? How do we work that part out? And how do we, from the civil rights aspect of it, ignore, or should we be ignoring, the issue of race? And should we not be understanding, or to me, racism and sexism are the same horse. And they ride together, and the people who are supporting racism also support sexism, and it's just how can we be? We look at Herschel, say he's against abortion, except that it's okay to abort black kids, and we see who lines up with him on that. And are we surprised that the same people who are going to vote for Herschel probably are the folks who would be just happy aborting as many black kids as they could? Not just the white ones, but the black people that are so dissatisfied with being black that they would rather let no rights be available to black folk. Self-hate, it's all there.
Yeah, and I agree with you that this is an issue. First of all, we have a right to agree to disagree.
And we've got about a minute and a half left. Kill us.
Right. And so, I have dialogue all the time with people that disagree with my point of view, and I have no problems with that. I might disagree with them, but there is a way that we can come together in the middle. And that means by saying that if we agree to disagree, then we can also agree to come to a medium, understanding together. As far as black children being aborted more than white children, where did this statistic come from? I have no idea. Was it? There's other.
No, I just said that they would. It's hard for me to think that just because Herschel Walker aborted a couple of black kids, that white people that were going to vote for him to take away rights are going to be upset with him aborting kids. Not at all. Anyway, we don't have enough time. Never have enough time. Condi, I'd like to invite you to join me again, and let's extend conversation. I definitely will be there at 5 o'clock, 3933 Mission Inn Boulevard, to help the ribbon cutting of the Civil Rights Institute, Inland California, Southern California. Folks, be there. remember this. See you next week under two circumstances. One, if the good Lord's willing. Two, if the creek don't rise. And God bless you. You can do the right thing. Do it.